Hello, Mr. Marr. Thank you for the order. This will be a quick tutorial. Now, this is how the saber is gonna arrive to you. It will be completely non-responsive, but don't be worried. That's because the kill key has cut the power. All you have to do is undo the clamp lever, unscrew the pommel cap, and review the chassis. Now, this is the kill key. It's a rotating kill key. Just turn it, and you'll hear the power coming back up. That's the boot sound, and after that, the saber is live. This is also the charging port. Pull it open, and yeah, the process will cut the power again, so you'll hear the boot sound. Put your charger in right here, the 2.1 millimeter charger, and there is a tiny LED on the charger that's gonna turn from red to green when the saber is fully charged. And right on top of that, you see that's the SD card, and this is the USB port. You would not need these two unless you decide to change up the font. Well, if you decide to do that, hit me up. I have a few tutorials that I can send your way on how to do that. If you don't want to unscrew the entire pommel cap, you could also just undo the... Sorry, if you don't want to take off the entire lower shaft, you could also undo just the pommel cap. That would also reveal the charging port. So when would you need to charge the saber? Surprisingly, the LED wouldn't give off first. It's the speaker that's gonna kind of go off. You'll start to hear crackling sound, and the motion sensor on the board also does not function well when the voltage is low. What you're gonna notice is if you trigger a clash, the clash just keep going. That's the soundboard taking vibration of the speaker and misinterpret it as a motion. Whenever those signs shows, it just means the battery is low. Give it a full charge and all of those should go away. Okay, now let's put this back together. I'll show you how to take out the blade plug and put in the blade next. But before then, let's put this whole thing back together. I would recommend just keeping the kill key in there to not lose it. It's a turning kill key anyway. Like to cut the power, just turn it like that. Turn it on, just turn the other way. And when you put the pommel back up, notice that this little gray thing in between the clamp, that is the switch holder that's holding the auxiliary switch. Sometimes when you put the shaft back on, it clashes with that bit. Just lift it up a little bit and make sure the shaft goes beneath it, and then you shouldn't have any problem putting the shaft back on. Okay, slide the clamp back down, hide the auxiliary switch, turn to the other side. Now currently it is the blade plug that sits inside the socket. To take it out, you need to first release the blade retention screw, and then the blade plug should just slide right out. You might need to pinch the bunny ear a little bit to help it. Here is the blade plug. It's just essentially a short blade with a similar NeoPixel connector and I think 7 LED units inside. Now take your blade, which has 260 LED units. Same thing, make sure the blade goes all the way to the bottom and touches the pin. You can do a quick test. Well, yep, we have a good connection. And then screw in your retention screw. It does not have to go so hard that the tip of the screw completely digs into the blade. Just make sure the whole blade does not come out. And there we have it. Good to go. Okay, let's then move on to some basic operation of the saber. If you have seen the font demo, you'll notice that just single press, turn it on, another single press, turning it off, and the aux switch is one press advancing to next font.
General Kenobi.
Ah, sorry, I was pressing the wrong place. And you have and neat trick is if you press it once,
If you're not with me,
it just keeps going to the next font. Given that there's 28 fonts on this, when you cycle past your desired font, normally you'll have to do a full circle to go back to it. What I noticed is that there's a quick trick to allow you to cycle backwards in terms of font. To do that, you just press and hold this button and tap the main switch. So
I am a Jedi.
let's say
Like my
if we
father
want the
before
Luke
me.
font,
If
and we
you
just
will
cycle
not
past
turn
that.
to the dark
So
side, then perhaps
press this.
she will. I am a Jedi.
See, we just went back to
Like
the
my
Luke font.
father before me.
When the saber is on, this will give you blaster blocking effect. To trigger a clash, you need to press and hold the aux switch and then tap the saber. Letting go is to end the effect. What else? Yes, there is a light cycle effect, or called the color wheel, that allows you to change the color of the blade on the go. So currently we have green. To activate that, press both buttons at the same time. Whoop. That's kind of hard to do. Now, after you heard that, we have entered the color wheel. Now you rotate the saber, and you'll see the color changing as you rotate. When you reach your desired color, let's go back to green, and do the same thing. Press both buttons at the same time. And you've locked on to that color. Saber track. Press and hold for 2 seconds. Turning it on.
If you will not turn to the dark side,
What else?
then perhaps she will.
That should be all. Everything that you would need to know to operate the saber. This will of course go out tomorrow. Oh, wait, tomorrow's Memorial Day. Probably go out on Tuesday then. I will make sure to pack this up as securely as I can and put an insurance on the shipping. Please do inspect the saber upon arrival and see if it's been damaged during shipping. Should anything happen to it, let me know immediately. The insurance coverage should allow me to patch it up completely free of charge to your side. That's it. I hope you enjoy.